Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. Round 5 takes us to Interlagos, reaching the halfway point in Season 6, coming towards the Christmas period. I am Tom Cairns in the contrary position. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham, who will take us around this fan favourite course of the Odddomer Jose Carlos Patre, named after the 1975 Brazilian Grand Prix winner at this circuit, the man himself, before we sadly lost a couple of years later. We're into the final minutes of qualifying, and before we go to that, let's have a rundown on the latest championship scores after the latest chapter of the season that we had at the Nordschleife, where we had 2 races, 4 laps long in each of them. We start off with the pros, where John Hodgson was able to extend his margin to 23 points over Paul LeMay, 164 playing 141. Then it's Matthew Richardson in third on 137, a point clear over fourth place Jack Veazey. Then it's Luke Maxwell in fifth place ahead of Eric Harman, who was one of the 2 winners last week in Germany. They're on 129 points each. Daniel Beauchamp in 7th place. He hasn't been around for the last couple of weeks. He's on 114 points. Darius Vosberg is 8th on 108. Luke Chinson in 9th on 105. And it's Jamie Bird in 10th place on 102. Then we've got Paul Crabb, Mike Boost on the reigning champion, a long way back on 71 points. He has a lot of work to do if he is to retain his crown. Josh Reed is the last driver to have picked up points. He's got 40 to his name. In the AMS, we've got Mena de Graaf, who has taken over the lead from last week. Gert-Jan Polman was ahead, but he's now down to 2nd place. 5 points is the gap between those two. 77 playing 72. There's Eric Colleen, the Irishman, in 3rd place on 66 points. And we've got David Rolliston in 4th on 60. Then it's Stefan Millis in 5th on 53, tied with Michael Choate. Steve Webb, who came back last week after missing the last couple before then due to marshalling commitments. He's on 44 points in 7th place. And it's his fellow marshal, Darren Nunn in 8th on 43. Mike Manning 9th on 36. Then we've got Richard Williams, Ben Gregory, Mikkel Lecco, and Mike Walters, who is yet to get off the mark so far. Let's bring Jim in and get a word from him and get his thoughts on what he believes we are going to be expecting out of this brilliant 3-race encounter. 15 minutes for the first 2 and 20 for the last. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. Good to be here with you again, of course. I'm super excited for this race. I love this track. I think everybody loves this track, to be honest with you. I really expect it's going to be a perfect match with these cars today. To be honest, I've never seen any car that was put here that it didn't work and fit. So, I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited about this race today. We got a nice field again, 17 cars. It should be great.
We should be in for some good action around this 4.3 kilometers or 2.6 miles. If you prefer, looking at where we are in the season in terms of the calendar, we started off the championship at Alton Park. We then headed over to the Belgian location of Zolder for round 10. It was Sonoma in America. In California, then it's to Road America for the 4th round of the season. Nordschleife for round 5, where we went to last week. Tonight is Interlagos. We go to Mount Panorama in Bathurst in a week's time, followed by Road Atlanta and Sebring as another American double bill. And we finish off the season on the first Monday of 2026 at the historic configuration of Monza. From our previous witness of the historic configuration of Monza, Jim, with these cars, it's one not to miss.
Yeah, well, it's so much fun. Absolutely have to be there for that one.
And so far in qualifying here at Interlagos, Luke Maxwell has the fastest time ahead of Paul Crabb, who's aiming to improve from his performances last week at Nordschleife. Jack Veazey and Eric Harman are 3rd and 4th. No sign of John Hodgson this evening, Jim, which is interesting, but I suppose you could use this round as one of his drop scores. The driver's best 8 round scores are applied instead of all 10 to keep it as fair as possible between the whole field.
Yeah, I think John must be busy. He normally messages me with the points totals so that I can input them, and he did not this week, so I'm assuming he must be tied up with work or whatever. Life, that goes. I think he's probably busy, and I'm sure there's some guys here that'll be glad to make up a little ground on him if they can. It's good to see Paul Crabb up there right now, currently in 2nd place on the front row. with qualifying just about to end, I don't know that there's anybody out there that could beat him. Maybe Richardson potentially would be the only one left on the track. I think that is nope, he didn't get there. So, yeah, that's it's good to see Paul Crabb up there. That's going to be exciting for him.
Qualifying has concluded with Luke Maxwell taking the point for pole position, adding to his championship total. But can he come away with a gaggle of points to keep himself in the hunt for the title? He's got Paul Crabb for company on the front row with Jack Veazey and Eric Harman next. Matthew Richardson and Mike Bousson on row 3. Mike Bousson needs a strong result here to keep his realistic hopes alive in the championship. Luke Tunison and Jamie Bird on next on row 4, followed by Steve Webb, the highest of the AMs, over Mena de Graaf on row 5. Eric Colleen and Taras Vosberg are on row number 6, followed by Gert-Jan Polman and Stefan Millis on the 7th row. We've got Darren Nunn and Richard Williams next to each other on row 8, and at the back on his own on row 9 is Michael Choate.
All right, we just about got everybody here on the grid, it looks like.
Waiting on a number 2 joint. Waiting on Luke Maxwell, Mike Bousson, Steve Webb, and Richard Williams. Those are who we're waiting on. Just a quick prediction, Jim. Who do you think is going to come out on top in race number 1?
I mean, you got to like Luke Maxwell starting on the pole. He's fast. He's clearly fast here. That would be my pick. Jack Veazey maybe second.
And we'll see soon enough when the lights come on. Richard Williams is the last one we're waiting on. There is a maximum 2-minute wait before the lights do come on. Before we do get going, from the moment the session transitions from qualifying to the race. But they're all on the grid now, and we are good to go for the first race here at Interlagos. The first light is on. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights off, it's go. It's a good getaway from Luke Maxwell from the front row of the grid. Eric Harman getting the jump on Jack Veazey into 3rd place. He's going to be on the inside and into turn 1. He'll have a little sniff on Paul Crabb as well. But Crabb is able to assist and hold on as they head through the centre S for the first time. Luke Maxwell leads ahead of Paul Crabb. Next, Eric Harman in 3rd place. Jack Veazey's 4th. It's Mike Bousson and Jamie Bird in 5th and 6th, both making up places at the expense of the likes of Luke Tunison and Taras Vosberg. Matthew Richardson's had a torrid start, though, down from 5th to 9th as they head through to Interlagos for the first time. But it's Maxwell who takes the initiative ahead of Paul Crabb and Eric Harman, as we've got a long way to go here. No such instance so far, Jim. They've all behaved themselves at this present moment.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, let's not get our hopes way up. I'm sure we're going to see some incidents, but yeah, they're off to a great start right now. And like you said, the one shocker there is Matthew Richardson. Man, I didn't see anything. It's just like he must have just got caught out or something, pinned on the outside or something.
He was on the cleaner side of the grid, was Matthew Richardson, which I'm not saying that should be an excuse for him dropping back, but it was still enough for him to drop down the order, and he's got some work to do if he is to salvage anything from race number 1. The top 5 finishes get reversed for the grid for race number 2, and in around about 15 minutes' time, so please stay tuned as we are kicking off the action here as Luke Maxwell leads the field rounds. At the end of lap 1, Paul Crabb 2nd, Eric Harman 3rd, Jack Veazey 4th. It's Mike Bousson holding on to 5th place. We've seen a little bit of action going about. Matthew Richardson have a little sniff at Taras Vosberg into turn 1, but to no avail, has to settle back in behind. Steve Webb is the highest out of all those in the AMs as well, doing a terrific job ahead of Mena de Graaf and Eric Colleen, who are gunning to continue their fine form so far this season. Through the Retro Apostle they come again. That is Luke Tunison on the inside there. Who's he making a move on? It looks like he's making a move on Jamie Bird. He gets past Jamie Bird, and Bird spins around Jim at Interlagos.
Yep, Bird is gone there. All right, let's see if we can. There's Jamie coming up. Oh my goodness, we're going to look at that here in a second.
Down the pecking order he goes. That is Eric Colleen being passed by Steve Webber, who's been overtaken by Mena de Graaf earlier on in the lap. And from being in the lead in the AMs, Steve Webb is now down to 3rd position. So he's got a fight on his hands if he is to come away with an AM victory this evening. Luke Tunison is ahead of Vosberg for position at the moment. And there they are. There are those two. That's Vosberg on the inside. Luke Tunison going off the circuit. He'll need to be careful he doesn't get a slowdown by going off the circuit. Luke Tunison, he survives that for now. Through goes Matthew Richardson on the inside out of Yun Sao. He'll have the tow from Vosberg's car to get the move completed on Tunison. But the issue now is he going to bump draft Vosberg down the straight. Well, he's going for it there, nearly banging wheels down the pit straight. Richardson and Tunison. Richardson on the outside of Vosberg now into the centre S. Does he go through this time? He goes a little too deep. Vosberg will come back. Over the curb goes Richardson. And now this is the curve of the Solder they're heading through. And Richardson is offline, which will allow Tunison to go back ahead.
Yeah, that's. I got a feeling that's probably something very similar to what happened to Richardson on that first lap as well. I'm not sure that he's got that corner quite figured out in traffic right now, and he's putting himself on the wrong side of that turn. Go back up here in front. I'll tell you what, it's really good to see Paul Crabb up here, up front, being really competitive again.
Absolutely so. Paul Crabb has already taken a race win this season from memory. He's hoping to add another one to his total this season, keeping a log of who has won races this season. John Hutchinson has won 4. Eric Harmon has won 2. Luke Maxwell, I'm sure, has won at least 1. Daniel Beauchamp has won 1. Matthew Richardson has won 2. And I think that might be about that. We'll come to the wins a little bit later on, maybe in the warm-up session after race 2 is completed. But Luke Maxwell is still leading the way, but he's got a queue of cars looming in behind. It's Paul Crabb, Eric Harmon, Jack Veazey and Mike Bousson, who's having the best race of his season so far, and hoping he could just keep up with these.
So this is what happened to Jamie. Oh, a little contact.
Could argue that, you could argue that Bird turned in on Tunison there. Tunison was alongside, and Bird just didn't quite leave enough room on that occasion.
I think he probably didn't realize he was in there, and then because you can see he kind of turned in, kind of jerked back off of him, but it was, I think, just a little too late there. It's one of those spatial awareness things. This is a little gaggle right here. Talking about gaggle earlier. Look at this gaggle. My God,
Luke Tunison holding off.
Sorry. I just can't get over those retro liveries racing each other right there. That looks so good.
No, that's perfectly understandable. And that's Eric Colleen holding off Mena de Graaf on the outside there, coming towards Beaker de Pato. Between those two, behind the pair are the 2 Orange Army racing cars of Steve Webb and Matthew Richardson. Richardson is ahead of Webb. He wants to try and get ahead of these. He has dropped back from where he should have been, chasing after the other pro drivers, Matthew Richardson. It doesn't feel like maybe this circuit is necessarily for him, but let's hope he proves us wrong as the night progresses.
That's what I'm seeing. I just feel like he's off the pace here for where he should be, relative to the other drivers and what his normal speed is. I just don't think he's quite got this place figured out yet. I mean, he's fast enough to be, reasonably competitive here, but I think he's just off just a little bit. Did he say that he did not own this track, or that I remember something about that, or maybe he didn't have a lot of laps here or something? Now that,
not 100% sure.
Now that I think about it, that seems to be the case.
That was wheel-to-wheel contact between Mena de Graaf and Eric Colleen at Interlagos, and that has allowed Matthew Richardson to head on through. Is Steve Webb going to follow suit as they come up the hill? Webb to the outside of Eric Colleen, but there is no way through for Webb around the outside. It's going to be quite difficult to do it there because the circuit inclines uphill, and if you're on the inside, that's essentially the high ground. So it was always going to be difficult for Steve Webb to make his way through, but he is doing his utmost to put Colleen under pressure, but he's not able to make the most of it. Further behind, that's Gert-Jan Polman and Stefan Mellis, who are in their own tussle for 12th position, 4th in class. Mellis gets pushed out wide, and Polman lives to fight another day and will go after the likes of his AM rivals further up front.
This looks like Paul Crabb's coming under a little pressure here from Eric Harmon, and Veazey sitting back there. You got to think he's about to pounce soon. Look at here's Harmon coming up the outside here going into the center S.
He is on the outside. Harmon absolutely on the throttle a little bit earlier and pushes Crabb out a little bit wide there through the exit of the center S. And now you can just see that's Bousson to his left and Veazey to his right. Crabb is getting absolutely engulfed through the rest of Aposta.
He's
going to be on the way. Constantine collision between Paul Crabb, Jack Veazey and Mike Bousson. Bousson is off. Feezy's car is damaged.
Oh my
How on earth did Paul Crab survive that? I do not know. But that was always going to happen from the moment the three were wide heading into Interlagos.
That was so crazy. It's like they pinched him in at the exact same time. They were both on the outside of him, and they just like sucked in on top of him all at the last second there. Look, let's see. I want to get an aerial shot of this. They just like came together across his nose.
That's Buson for me. That's Buson because he should have left more space on the brakes there. If you look at the amount of space that Buson had to his left, he had no right to cut across on Crab the way he did there because he knew that VZ was alongside to his right. So there was nothing VZ could have done about it. And the way that Crab was boxed in there, that for me is on Buson for cutting across for me.
Well, and what Buson was doing there was he was trying to get over to the racing line so that he could make that turn. Because there's no way, without going extremely slow, that he was going to make that turn. What's scary is that Paul Crab is still in third place after that. I don't know how he didn't get damaged. Speaking of that, let me go see if he did get damaged.
I don't think he did, to be honest with you. If there was any,
his wheel straight.
I think it's mainly Buson. Yeah.
Wow.
Clean as a whistle for Paul Crab.
Amazing. Amazing.
Well, all of that has seen Mike Buson drop down to 9th place, Jack Veazey down to 12th through all of that. And all of that has allowed Vosberg and Tunison to be in the positions which would be good enough to be on the front row for race number 2. Through goes Jamie Bird on Stefan Millis through the exit of Interlagos and up the hill towards it's the Magulio corner.
Boy,
on
Jamie outbraked
corner,
him there by about 100 feet, man. He just slung it right on in there.
Yeah. Fedogiro is what I was looking for in terms of that corner name, not Magulio. Magulio is the one before Yonsau, which Jamie Bird and Stefan Millis are about to head through now. That's Beaker de Pato. And the left-hander, which you can just see Gert-Jan Polman and Jack Veazey heading through, that's Magulio.
Yeah, what a mess, man. I had high hopes for Veazey in this race. He wasn't really moving up like I had hoped he was, or predicted he was, I should say. But, wow. Yeah, that was crazy.
Down the pit straight they come. 10.5 minutes into this one. I would say we've got a good 3 laps to go, maybe 4, depending on when Maxwell gets over the line, or whoever the leader is when they head over the line. But he's got a comfortable margin of just over a second on Eric Harmon. Paul Crab is another 2 seconds back. And then we've got a slight battle going on involving Taras Vosberg, Luke Tunison and Menno de Graaf for position. There is Luke Tunison in the retro Williams F1 livery, chasing after the German Taras Vosberg, who said to us last week, Jim, that Interlagos wasn't...
He's actually not German. For some reason, his flag is stuck on German. They told me what he was in either in the group chat or they might have sent me a private message. He's not German though, and so I want to correct that. But his flag is stuck on German, but he's not German. I'll see if I can figure out what he is, and we'll call it correctly for him. But I don't know how to change his flag. I don't think I can. But yeah, he's not German, so we're going to get that squared away here at some point. I just thought of that just now when you said it.
Eric Harmon has some fans tuning in the YouTube chat. Good to hear from Eddie Schroeder. What a cracking name, I have to say. And
Eddie. Yeah, if that's his real name, that is a pretty awesome name, isn't it? That'd be a great name for a guitar player, Eddie Schroeder.
Oh, isn't it just? It sounds like a member of Kiss. Do you know Kiss?
Do I know Kiss? That was the first concert I ever went to.
Was it really?
Yeah, I was 14 years old, man. I got to see Kiss in New Orleans 2 days before Mardi Gras. It was wonderful. It was a great concert. Got right up front, was super excited. It was great. I grew up on Kiss. That's old school.
I'll take it as a daft question for me to ask that in the first place. Back to the action. Luke Maxwell leads 1.2 seconds clear over Eric Harmon. Paul Crab, Taras Vosberg in 4th place, and Menno de Graaf has got in front of Luke Tunison now for 5th place, on course for a reverse grid pole as it stands, unless Tunison, Richardson and co have anything to say on that. Mike Buson, strangely enough, is still in the action. He's in 8th place. I don't know how he survived that instant, to be honest with you, without damage, but we'll see. We'll may get a word from him later on to get his view on the whole situation. He may even have a pop at me for blaming him about it, though. But he may. But we'll see how he gets on later on in the night. He might come away with a victory, so he may be in a better mood by the end of the night than he is of present. Luke Maxwell going over the line to start lap number 10. He got over the line, I think, before... I think this is probably the penultimate lap, because the laps we are seeing, Jim, are 1 minute 27s.
Yeah, 1:27.
So this is the penultimate lap of the race.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, we should have this one and one more after. Which is good. We've got a couple of little battles out there shaping up now. We've got this three-way. We're really kind of a four-way there, even though Vosberg is kind of out in front of them a little bit. But you got this trio here with Menno de Graaf with quite a showing. I mean, up there in 5th overall, AM leader, putting on a heck of a show out there. He's really been strong though. He has his moments like this. What a great run.
The field looks settled down now. Darren Nunn's at the back of the field chasing after Richard Williams for 16th position. So we haven't got too long left in this one now. They're just going through Ferradura now. Williams and Nunn. Maxwell is about to start the final post. There is Eric Colleen running in 9th position, second in class in the AMS. And he's got Steve Webb for company.
He does. Good to see Steve Webb having a good run out there tonight. That's, it's a good solid run from Steve.
Sorry, interrupt. Vosberg's off, Jim. He's at a moment somewhere. He was in 4th place. He's now down to 6th position. He made a mistake somewhere, I think at Yun Sao, and he's allowed Menno de Graaf and Luke Tunison to get alongside. He's still on course for reverse grid pole as it stands. There goes the white flag for the field. It is the last lap of the race. Vosberg on the inside of Menno de Graaf into turn 1. Tunison to the outside. Will they get through cleanly? They do. I think Tunison's going to have the high ground for turn number 2, which he does. But it's Vosberg has the inside line, gets back into 4th place. And a nail-biting contest here. Tunison almost out of shape, entering Retro Aposta. I think Vosberg's okay. But now we're looking at the likes of Richardson, Tunison, and de Graaf for reverse grid pole for race number 2. Through goes Vosberg, Tunison into 5th place. And Richardson has got past de Graaf at the same time.
Yeah, this is really heating up here, isn't it? Oh, and apparently Colleen and Webb had an incident. We'll have to take a look at that after. I can't cut away from this right here till the leader gets close to the finish line. This is going to be good stuff all the way to the end right here.
Yeah, Richardson in 6th place. He feels he can get that reverse grid pole away from Luke Tunison, not unless Taras Vosberg decides he makes a mistake somewhere. Oh, that's contact. There's going to be contact there between Buson and de Graaf. We'll go to the race leader, Luke Maxwell, who's going to take victory here at Interlagos, Brazil. Round the banking for the last time over the pit straight. And it's going to be Luke Maxwell taking the first win of the night ahead of Eric Harmon, who continues his fine form this season by coming home in 2nd place. Paul Crabb bags another podium to his name. And Taras Vosberg is going to hold on ahead of Luke Tunison, Matthew Richardson, Menno de Graaf, and Mike Buson to 4th place. Tunison will start race 2 from reverse grid pole ahead of Taras Vosberg. Matthew Richardson finishes 6th.
We still got action 7th. Going on back here. Sorry. That's
action over the line. Yeah. Buson 8th, Pullman 9th, and it's got Colleen, Bird, Vesey, Mellis, Webb, who dropped back on that last lap.
Who
and then we've got Joe, Williams, and Nunn over the line.
That was a drag race right there to the line. Holy cow. All right, let's go back and look at what happened to Colleen and Webb on that last lap there. Oh, it cut.
No, we can't now because it's...
Golly, you got me. I was hoping.
Yeah, we'll run down the results of race number 1, Jim, because we're short on time before the race 2 start begins. It is Luke Maxwell who takes victory ahead of Eric Harmon. Paul Crabb 3rd ahead of Taras Vosberg. Luke Tunison, who will begin race 2 from reverse grid pole. Matthew Richardson in 6th place, followed by Menno de Graaf, the winner in the AMS, followed by Mike Buson, with Gert-Jan Pullman and Eric Colleen rounding out the podium in the AMS. Jack Vesey 11th, followed by Jamie Bird, and we've got Stephen Miller, Steve Webb, Michael Cho, Richard Williams, and Darren Nunn making it to the end of that. All 17 starters making it to the end. The grid for race 2, Luke Tunison on reverse grid pole, Taras Vosberg. There's Paul Crabb and Eric Harmon on the 2nd row. Luke Maxwell and Matthew Richardson line up on row 3, with Menno de Graaf and Mike Buson for company on the 4th row. Gert-Jan Pullman and Eric Colleen round out the top 10. And then it's Jack Vesey and Jamie Bird hoping to improve from race number 1. Stephen Millis and Steve Webb on row 7. Michael Choate and Richard Williams on the 8th row. On the back on his own is Darren Nunn. The whole field is on the grid now and we are good
You
to
can
go
take
for
a
the
breath
second
now.
race here. The second race is about to commence with the 15 drivers on the grid. It looks like Polka, Mike Booston will be starting from the pit lane. Lights are on. Lights off. It's Joe. Luke Tunison off the line, as is Taras Vosbo. It gets a terrible start. It's Eric Harman who's got the best start out of the lot of them, and he's going to head into turn 1 first. Luke Maxwell, equally brilliant off the line, and he's going to head into second place by the looks of it, unless Luke Tunison has something to say on that. He does, but he runs out wide. It went a little too deep at the second corner, and Luke Maxwell's got his nose in front into second position. Hardman leads, and it's Maxwell in second place. There goes Paul Coe and Mike Booston out of the pit lane, but they've got a mountain to climb if they're going to salvage anything positive from this second race, and it looks like Eric Hartman's got the start he needed, Jim, as has Luke Maxwell.
What a great jump by those two guys, man. Both of them up 3 spots right off the bat. I mean, Harman has already got a second lead on the field. I mean, we're 2 or 3 corners into this lap, and he's got a second lead already. And
2 victories to his name this season, Eric Harman.
Well, I tell you, he's
one
really,
last week at Nordschleife.
He's really found his form, though, later in the season, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say he picked up a victory also at Sonoma, did Harman, and he is he's doing his utmost to make it 3 wins and keep up with John Hudson, who I will remind you isn't around this evening, but we hope to see him back next week when the series is racing in Mount Panorama.
Well, that's going to be
a good start from Eric Hartman.
Mount Panorama is going to be fun.
It has historically, and it's likely to do so again. Tunison into the slipstream. He's looking at a potential overtake on Luke Maxwell down the straight. There is also further action behind. I think that was Jack Vesey attempting to go through on Gert-Jan Polman for position, but has ducked out of it. And so he has to wait back. Jamie Bird has had a decent start to this one, up from 12th to 7th so far in this one. He's got Matthew Richardson in the way, hoping he can just dispose of him and get onto the rear of the leading pack. Luke Tunison is still harassing Luke Maxwell for second position, refusing to leave him alone. Eric Harman continuing to dominate proceedings, but it's no guarantee he's going to carry on. So, that's contact between Vosberg and de Graaf on the approach to Ferradura. Richardson on the inside. Is Vosberg going to know he's there? There's contact made. Is Vosberg going to be pushed out wide again? That's Jamie Bird coming through, and Gert-Jan Polman before they get to turn number 8. Vosberg has lost out big time in that, Jim. It was just like a domino effect out of Descida de Largo through Ferradura and through the likes of turns 8 and 9.
Yeah, that was crazy, but that's how it is here. I mean, man, you get out on the wrong line, and those cars can just freight train you, especially with the way they're sticking together in these packs. We saw the same thing happen
still to come.
Last race to, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head right now.
There is Vosberg in P7, still chasing after those fighting for 4th place. Men of the Grave is at the head of the queue, essentially the cork in the buckle at the moment, holding up Richardson and Bird. Bird may even take 2 in one go if he's daring it, but I think sensibly he decides to hold back that time around. Richardson to the outside of Men of the Grave, and it's good enough for him to move into 4th place. A good overtake for Matthew Richardson. That'll do his family proud. Well, I tell you what won't do Jamie Bird's family proud is that he's run into Men of the Grave at the Centre S, or the Curve of the Sol, I should say, and that has paid the price, unfortunately, for Men of the Grave, the way he got run into there, and it's a terrible, terrible shame.
Well, I honestly was looking at the camera controls and I missed that. I'm going to go back and look at it here just in a second. We got so many passes going on right here.
That's Vosberg going through on Williams, who I think made a mistake at Descida de Largo, hence why he's got the slowdown to his name. Vesey's up in 6th place now, though. He started the race in 11th. He's up to 6th place. Bird up to 5th. But there may be some words after the run-ins he's just had with Mena de Graaf, who's now at the back in 17th and last position. He's got a mountain to climb. Mellis on the inside as well on Steve Webb. Here is a replay of the incident, Jim. Take us through it.
Yeah, that's well. I'm trying to see here. It looks like Jamie. Oh my gosh! Wow, he just kind of run over him there, didn't he? I mean, really? Wow. Okay, I'm gonna get one more look at that. Let's see. Jamie just sent it down in there. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Minnow was all the way on the curve. I mean, almost off track. He was so far over and still got hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
okay. Yeah, I think you're right there. That's going to be There's going to be some. Richard Williams is in the pits here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be some words there. I mean, at least some explanation or an apology or something needs to be done there. That was a little rough. Look at these two. Well, they went through there clean, though.
Yeah.
That was nice.
There's Colleen and Pullman fighting for position. I don't think Williams slowed down in response to the slowdown he got, hence why he's got that penalty.
Is that
but
what
for
that
now,
was? It was a slowdown.
Yeah, it will
penalty?
be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be a slowdown because he didn't slow down enough when he got the slowdown.
Let's see.
Harmon leads. The gap has come down to 8/10 on Luke Maxwell. He's doing his utmost to make it 2 wins, but not by getting the power down like that.
Well, that's a
out
Luke
of
Maxwell move. That's a Luke Maxwell move right there, though. You know, hard on the throttle, the rear end kicking out on him. That's the way he drives. You know. Yeah, he's cutting the lead down though.
Number 4 approaching the end of that one. There is Tunison in 3rd place. He picked up 2 podiums, I think, last week, did Tunison, as far as I remember.
He's
but
starting to move forward. I mean, we're starting to see him battle more at the front each and every week. You know, I think he's finding his form in these cars.
He's finding his feet, absolutely so. And he's keeping himself high up in the standings. He's got a chance to close down on John Hodgson in the standings. Remember, it's the best 8-round scores for each driver that determines the championship tables at the end of the season. VZ, meanwhile, is hoping he can end his even in a better way than what's happened in race number 1. But he's got Jamie Bird right in front. These two have had a lot of history because they do come to blows time to time. And I'll probably ask them how many times they've come together, actually, because they've probably got a better memory of that than I do. But either way, they're in their own battle for 5th place. Now, it's the top 10 finishes in race 2 that will determine the grid. For race number 3, it'll be reversed. And the man sitting in 10th place is the Irishman, Paul Crabb.
Yep, Paul Crabb right now. We still got a ways to go, though. Plenty of things can happen here in the next, what do we got, eight or so minutes left. So how many laps is that going to be, Mr. Math?
Well, it'll be 11 laps. If race one was 11 laps, then race 2 will be 11 laps. That's the way I look at it.
Sure, do it the easy way. I could have done that one. Dadgummit, you got me.
Yeah.
You made that too easy. It made me look really bad.
The gap's continuing to come down, Jim, between Harmon and Maxwell for the lead. 4/10 is the gap. There they are. Well, you don't need me to tell you the gap. You could just tell by where they are on the circuit. There are the two. That's Richard Williams in the background there, who's nearly a lap down on these. But Maxwell will just want to focus on getting by Harmon for the lead, but he'll wait for the best opportunity to get by. But he has to be wary of the fact that Luke Tunison isn't too far behind. And they also have to be wary about slowdowns, because on a course like this, when you go through Interlagos and Ferradura, you've got to be wary of not going over track limits too many times. Otherwise, you'll get that slowdown. And if you're the leader, well, you most certainly won't want to get a slowdown. And I don't think Luke Maxwell... Yeah, this is what I'm alluding to, Jim.
Yeah, but well, that was a perfect line Maxwell took through there, man. He gained a good bit of space right there.
Out of Bica de Pato they come, and it looks like Maxwell is going to be within range to attack all the way up the hill. It is a long way from here to the Cenaras.
It is.
I don't think Maxwell got the exit coming out of there, but what will recover that is the slipstream, and Harmon won't have anything to aid him down the straight in terms of the speed. That is going to be handed all to Maxwell, I think. You could just see the lines they're taking through the pit lane. I'm surprised that they're not getting like slowdowns for that, because you're not really supposed to cut through the pit entry like that.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, this is a...
It's actually okay here. That one they allow here, and they also... the last turn before you go into the big, long straightaway there with the pit, that they'll let you go pretty wide there. But they've got some tight... we got a battle right here for position. Look at this.
That's Bird on VZ. Bird and VZ side by side at Interlagos. Bird retains the place ahead of his countrymen.
See, no slow down there either. They'll let them run wide right there. They're generous in a few spots, but then there's other spots they're not generous at all here.
Well, Bird holds on for now. What I was going to allude to, Jim, do you remember when Felipe Massa got a drive-through penalty for basically cutting the entry line when he was going through that very corner that I was alluding to.
I don't, but that doesn't surprise me. But I know in iRacing recently, they changed the track limits here. Like right here on this turn, they will allow you to run out wide there, a lot wider than you used to. They recently changed that. I don't know, maybe a year ago now or something like that. And this is not a big deal here. They will allow you to do that for sure. I see what you're saying, though. In theory, it should be like a pit entry violation. We got big trouble.
Yeah, Stefan Millis is the one that's gone down the order this time. We'll find out exactly what he's been up to. He was fighting with Steve Webb earlier.
Well, all right, this is not it.
No, this is Richard Williams getting a tank slapper through turns 1 and 2.
Oh, here's DeGraff. Okay, maybe it was a bunch of separate incidents then, but
it's one of these, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Golly.
I don't know what Menon de Graaf was thinking there, going for a move when he should have just gone to the outside. You could argue that Mellis should have just leave him room there, but why de Graaf went for a gap there when it wasn't really there, I don't know. That's on de Graaf for me, but I don't know what you think.
I want to look at it from a different angle. Okay, so he's clearly trying to make a move up the inside.
It's de Graaf, Jim. There's no doubt about it, to my eye.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't know that his nose was in there far enough yet. That's tough. But that's, not a good situation for sure. Now they're both...
Vosberg's gone down the order. He's the latest to tumble down. We don't know exactly what's happened with Vosberg this time.
He had something. Let's see. Just happened.
This is at Magulio. Does he catch the curb?
Good there.
He's fine through there. It's Youngsau where he's...
Oh, yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
He saved it, though. I mean, he didn't tear his car up anyway. But he did lose a lot of spots.
That's enough to drop him down to 11th place.
A lot of spots there, yeah. Oh, this is heating right on up here.
Isn't it just 3 laps to go in this second race here? And Harmon's lead has come down to virtually nothing between him and Luke Maxwell out of Desida de Lago. And up the hill to the right-hander of Ferragera. And Maxwell, well, he's almost like a shark just waiting for his moment.
And I think that's kind of how I think that's one of the things over the past couple seasons that he's really kind of embraced is you don't always have to make the move. You can pressure them really hard and cause them to make mistakes. And I believe that that is part of the reason that we've seen an improvement with him is because of that. He kind of takes that intimidator, shark kind of mentality where he's just kind of chases you down slowly and, tries to wear on your nerves, and then when he's got to, he'll certainly try to make a pass.
Here he comes then. Maxwell on the pit straight. Does Harmon go defensive here? Well, he has to. He doesn't want to leave the inside too open here. He'll want the line into turn 2, but he won't want to give Maxwell too much space. He doesn't do so. Can Maxwell get the drive out of the center S and be within the slipstream through the Curva de Sol and attack through Retro Aposta? Here they come. For the penultimate time in this race, Maxwell into the slipstream of the American Eric Harmon. No way through yet. You can see in the background Matthew Richardson just fending off Jamie Bird for the time being, but that battle isn't as close as this one. Maxwell up the hill towards Ferragera. Goes one way. Harmon, it's almost like Maxwell's trying to find a slightly different line to catch Harmon out. He'll have to catch him by surprise, I think, for when they go through the pit straight. It could be that he's just waiting for the best opportunity to make the move, because if he goes for the move now and he gets past, he's essentially given the slipstream effect to Harmon when they go through the pit straight, if you see where I'm coming from.
Exactly. No, that's 100% correct.
It's essentially an esports style move where you just wait until the last lap before you decide to go for it.
I mean, I think that's the logical play here. If you can't pull away from him, you might as well wait. Boy, he did not get a good run out of there, though. Look at that.
He came too close, Jim.
Yeah, he got too close and he had to get on the brakes. I agree. But that's okay. I think that it's going to be, it's going to be the next lap that's where he wanted to make the move anyway. So I think that's fine.
1 lap to go then for the leaders heading over the line with 12 seconds to spare.
Check this out real quick for a minute, or while we got a second here, and see what's going to happen. Maybe
Pole Crab on Mike Bousson for 8th position. Crab will go for it on the inside. Does Bousson know that he's there? He surely should do, and he's left him all the space that Paul Crab needed, to be fair. Yep. And that was enough for Crab to go through. Will Bousson decide to find a way back through? He'll give it his all, but he has to keep it clean. He will not want a repeat of what happened at the very next turn that involved Paul Crab in race number 1. Crab holds his line, and it was a very clever place to defend the position. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing they're missing is Jack Veazey for that. They could have repeated it all over again. I don't want to cut away from this, but we need to get to these leaders soon, I think. If it's going to happen, it's coming. But Maxwell seems to be a little bit off the pace that he needs to be. He's about a half-second back right now. That's a little too far.
And Bousson's a little bit too far back to challenge there. It wasn't the best of exits out of turn 9. There are the top 2. Is Maxwell going to get the run on Harmon tonight? It could be a drag race, but I think Maxwell's too far back this time. Eric Harmon has done everything he needed to do in this second race. He got a blinder of a start from 4th on the grid to go straight into the lead. Maxwell the same into 2nd place from 5th. And that's the way it has stayed until the flag. Eric Harmon wins in race 2 at Interlagos ahead of Luke Maxwell, and Luke Tunison bags another podium to his name in Season 6 in the Radical SR8 Championship. Matthew Richardson holds off Jamie Bird to the end for 4th position. Bird 5th, Veazey 6th, and they've got Colleen, the winner in the AMS, over Paul Crab and Mike Bousson. Gert-Jan Polman, 10th, 2nd in the AMS, and is on reverse grid pole for race number 3. Steve Webb getting another AM podium to his name. Well done to him. Then we've got Taras Fosberg, Michael Cho, Darren Nunn, Menno de Graaf, Stefan Millis, and Richard Williams has gone over the line a lap down.
These two aren't done here yet. Look. I think
Mel should get him here.
Yeah, I think he is. Well, it was close, though.
Millis through on Menno de Graaf for 15th position. And, well, it's some consolation. 15th place in the Radical SR8 Championship for races 1 and 2 gets you 2 points. So at least he's got an extra point for his troubles. Eric Harmon is the winner in race number 2 at Interlagos. Luke Maxwell 2nd, Luke Chinison in 3rd place. And then it's Matthew Richardson in 4th, Jamie Bird 5th, Jack Veazey 6th, Eric Colleen, the winner in the AMS, in 7th place. And we've got Paul Crab, Mike Bousson, and Gert-Jan Polman, who rounds out the top 10 and will start race 3 from reverse grid pole. Steve Webb running out the AM podium in 11th place. And we've got Taras Fosberg, who had a race to forget, in 12th. Michael Cho, Darren Nunn, Stefan Millis, Menno de Graaf, and Richard Williams running out the rest of the finishers. All 17 making it to the end again.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a good race. We've had two. Well, not surprising. I mean, we're at Interlagos, but we've had 2 just banging races. You know, I mean, you gotta love that. This place is it produces good racing. It always does.
Will we see a new winner this season? We've seen a total, and I did send to you, Jim, privately, the list of winners we had before Nordschleife. There have not been new winners since then. Just going back to my notes, we've had so far 7 different drivers stand on the top step. John Hudson's got 4 wins. Paul May has got 2. Luke Maxwell has got 2. Or 3 now, I should say now, if you're to include tonight. Matthew Richardson's got 2. Jack Veazey has got 1. With Beauchamp, who's got 1. Eric Harmon now has 3 wins to his name, 2 in the last 2 rounds.
Wow, yeah, that's I don't know. I'm trying to think. New winner. I don't know that I've seen anybody with enough pace that's not a winner already that's gonna jump up and surprise anybody here tonight. I mean, if I had to...
Well, Jamie Bird has yet to take victory. Paul Crab has yet to take victory this season as well. So just to correct myself.
Oh, Paul Crab has no victories. Okay. Yeah, well, Paul has been fast here. You know who? Menno de Graaf has been fast. I mean, if there's going to be an amateur that could pull one off, I would say potentially de Graaf has been fast. So, I don't... That's... but Paul Crab certainly, and Jamie is obviously capable of winning at any point in time.
Sam Katakousinos was the last AM driver to win
Well, I miss
in
him.
the
I wish
Radical
he
SR8
would
Championship.
come back and race this year. He was fun to watch.
He was brilliant, wasn't he? I agree. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't decide to come back. I don't know if that's
well,
he has
he's
other commitments,
Australian.
but
He's Australian, and he popped in. He ran the race at the Australian one. I can't the one on the water.
Phillip Island.
Yes, Phillip Island. And then he ran one more after that, I think, and that was all he did, I believe. And he won Phillip Island, but so that was kind of a home race, and maybe that's why he did it. Just because it was at his home track or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Matthew Richardson seems to be finding his pace through the night. Like in that first race, you could clearly tell he was not super comfortable, just the lines he was taking. But he was much faster in that second race. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up in this third one, because I think he might have something for him.
We're in the warm-up session now, so a chance for the drivers to have a breather, get a drink, head to the loo, do whatever they need to do before race 3 commences. But I've been impressed with the drivers today. I mean, minus the major collision involving Jack Veazey, Mike Bousson and Paul Crabb, I think more or less everyone has behaved themselves tonight, which is good to see.
Yeah, we
would have loved to have seen a few.
We had a couple of little, whatevers, but, that's going to happen. But, yeah, that one was a little strange. I still have no idea what happened there. There was so much room. There was no need for that to happen at all.
There is Jack Veazey on circuit.
He's all twitchy there.
Yeah. I don't know if he's trying a few setup differences or something.
No, I think he's working on his launching. He's probably trying to set his bite point on his iRacing gives you the ability to set a bite point on your clutch where you can kind of release partially and it'll launch at like 30%, and then you can release the other paddle and it'll go all the way to 100. He's probably trying to set his bite point right now to where it doesn't spin the tires. That's key. If you can get that set up right, it'll really give you some good launches. And if you don't, it's so easy to just torch the tires on these things because they're so light that you could just spin the tires so easy.
The warm-up session is done now, and now we'll go to the grid for the third and final race of this evening. Gert-Jan Polman on reverse grid pole with Mike Bousson alongside. A great chance for Bousson to take victory this time. Paul Crabb and Eric Klein are third and fourth. Jack Veazey and Jamie Bird on row 3, followed by Matthew Richardson and Luke Tunison. Luke Maxwell and Eric Harmon, the top 2 from race 2, line up on the 5th row of the grid. Steve Webb and Terrence Fosberg are next in 11th and 12th. Michael Cho and Darren on the 7th row, with Stefan Millis and Melinda Goff next behind. On the 9th row, on his own, is Richard Williams.
Back there all alone. Lonely back there. We take a look at Gert-Jan Polman's car there.
It's a nice livery, I have to say.
Yeah, just
lovely
clean
livery in its own right. Well, here's a chance for him to take advantage of that and see if he can get as many points as possible. 25 for the race win this time, 20 for second. It's a point difference for every position downwards from there. The lights are about to illuminate for one last time this evening. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights off. It's go for the final race tonight, and it's a dreadful start from Gert-Jan Polman. Mike Bousson was always going to dispatch him by the time he got into turn 1, and so far so good for the reigning champion. Paul Crabb on the inside of Polman into the first corner. Polman comes back on the inside, but it's going to bunch up the field as they go through the curve of the Sol for the first time. Veazey has got in front of the Dutchman, and Jamie Bird is the next driver who's attempting to get by the AM driver who's leading this one, but needs to also watch for Eric Colleen, who's going to be the first of the AM drivers, of which he's going to be battling with him for class victory.
So far, so good. Pretty clean coming through there. Yeah, Polman got a horrible start, man. He is all the way back to 5th already.
Yeah, but he's got Eric Colleen alongside him, which he needs to focus on. It's bad enough of a start he has had compared to him, but he wasn't expected to be fighting amongst the top 4, I don't think, anyway. But it would have been nice if he got a better launch than what he did. Boots leading the way then, and it's Paul Crabb in second place.
And he got rear-ended. Yeah, that by Maxwell. Yep. I mean, by Richardson, I think. Yeah,
that's the bonnet gone from Richardson's car.
God, well, that may not hurt him that bad. we've seen these cars run pretty well without the.
Handling's poor now. He's struggling, Jim. He's struggling through Yunsao. He'll need to pit him.
Let's see. We'll take a look here. Oh yeah, he's way back now. Yeah, he might be in trouble. Yeah, he's going to pit.
Yeah, I think he may as well, and just hope for trouble up ahead. That's terrible news for Matthew Richardson, aiming for a better luck. I have to say the live chat is pretty much in flux since the last we've read of it.
Yeah, it really is, isn't
it? I think Eddie Schroeder just come in saying Eric Killeen, not Eric Harmon. So my apologies for that. And apparently saying when my hair was long, people used to say I looked like Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. So just to play on that. Thanks, fella. We mentioned about band members, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That was Schroeder that said that?
Eddie Schroeder, yeah, in the chat.
Still say it's a great guitar player's name. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's Stefan Mills who said as well that he drove, Miller de Graaf drove over a small bump and slid into him. I think that was what happened anyway. I think that was Melis's point of view on that one. But here we go for race 3.
Jamie. He might get a slowdown. That's a place you can pick up a slowdown now, right? Where he just had that little incident. That is a place that's one of those that they tightened up a lot. You used to swing really wide there, but you can't anymore.
We'll wait for the timing tower to appear so that you can be informed as to where the drivers are in the field. There is Luke Maxwell behind Luke Tunison for position. This is the battle for P7. Maxwell having that mistake at Biga de Passo not too long ago. That was on lap 1, but now he's making up for lost time and trying to get past Tunison for position. There are the top 2 in the AMS. Gert-Jan Polman, Eric Killeen nose to tail. Well, Eddie Schroeder has got a chance to witness his driver attempt to get by. Polman so late on the brakes. Is that going to give Killeen the advantage out of the exit? I think it will do, because Polman's gone way too deep, and that was all Killeen needed to go ahead in that Senna-style helmet. And what a fitting way to get past him there as he leads in the AMS.
Oh, he's speaking of Senna. Look at that helmet he's racing right there. He's got the old Jordan livery, 7-Up livery, and he's got an Ayrton Senna helmet on. He's got it going on. Well, that's a nice shot.
Polman needs to watch for Tunison now.
That really is
Tunison,
nice
Maxwell, and Harmon all close.
Look at that. Yeah, that's crazy. Good battle back here. Nice battle.
Well, Matthew Richardson isn't too far off Darren Nunn, so there is a chance that Richardson will make up some places before the race is over. I would probably say if he can get past the 6 drivers in the AMS, that could minimise the damage as far as his race is concerned. But of course, he won't have too long to do that, as we're now nearly 5 minutes into this one. And so far, so good for Mike Bousson. There goes Tunison on Polman. Maxwell doing his best to go through ahead of the Dutchman. He's done so. What about Eric Hartman? Is he going to go through at virtually the same time through the Curve de Sol? He's not through yet. You want to get by as soon as he can so he can catch up and stay in touch with the likes of Maxwell and Tunison. On the inside goes Harmon, and surely this should be like a hot knife through butter for him at Descida de Lago, and so it happens to be. Harmon through into 8th place.
A hot knife through butter. That's almost like a U.S. country saying there. That's something you'd hear over here from the country folks.
We say it over here in Britain as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I picked up so many British things that have fallen into from working with all you guys, that have fallen into my vocabulary now, and I say it around friends, and they look at me like I'm crazy.
Mike Bousson leading the way then over Paul Crabb. Jack Vesey keeping in touch with him, as is Jamie Bird, and it's a 3-second gap back to Luke Tunison, who has disposed of Polman, who was essentially the cork in the bottle not too long ago. But now the likes of him and Maxwell have moved up. Eric Harmon's behind Eric Killeen for position. Killeen will want to do his utmost to keep him back. Now, 7th place in this one would give you 15 championship points. And I think Colleen will do his utmost to keep hold of it. Steve Webb going too deep into turn one whilst fighting with Gert-Jan Polman. Second in the AMS is Polman. Webb is third in the AMS. They're quite a bit back from Eric Colleen, who I don't think it'll be too long before Harman and Vosper get by him. And then we'll start to see the real battles intense. Through goes Maxwell on Tunison for what is now 5th position.
Yeah, and Colleen was right there with him. I thought he might have followed him through, but he couldn't quite get in that gap in time. Yeah, Maxwell's on a roll tonight, man. He's having a good night. So is Harman. It's gonna be fun watching him and Harman come up through this field. I think. It's this is a good little battle right here. This 5-6 cars here. Now Maxwell's got quite a little gap ahead of him here to get Jamie, though. Jamie's up there, I guess, 3 seconds ahead of him. That's going to be hard to make up, especially with Jamie.
And so I think Steve Webb has gone down the order. He was briefly ahead of Polman not too long ago, but now Menedigraf is, he's gone down the order as Webb, unfortunately. We'll find out exactly what he'd been up to. Bika de Passo, Polman was going for it. Polman spins.
There's Polman, right? That Steve spins. There goes Polman.
And that was almost in symphony.
Synchronized. Synchronized. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a word for the plural version of that. But I thought that was going to be an incident right there.
That's Michael Choate right behind
That's the first time we really talked
Steve
about him tonight.
Yeah, we haven't spoken enough about Michael Choate. We could do a little bit more broadcast time with him, but we want to see him in a battle with the other drivers. That is Eric Harman attempting to get by Eric Colleen at turn one, but to no avail. We'll head back to live images in a moment whilst we are seeing these two fighting out. There they are at Ferradura. Eric Harman ahead of Eric Colleen for 7th position. This is now Harman ahead of Colleen. I did say it was going to be tough for Colleen to hold on. And Harman has got Tunison in the way next. Maxwell isn't exactly making up enough ground on the likes of Buson, Crab, Veazey and Bird. No. I would probably say that's because, Jim, that Bird has been able to stay within the toe of the top 3 ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go up there and see how that toe is working. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Veazey and Bird are basically hooked up there. The best thing could happen for Luke, if you're Maxwell, is you want to see these guys start battling for position. Uh-oh, we got more trouble out there. Let's go see what happened here. I gotta get off this.
This is Menedigraf this time. He was running 2nd in the AMS. What has he been up to at Yunsau?
Ooh, boy, that is
he caught the curb.
That's a typical. Somebody else was
running wide in the background as well.
Somebody was running wide back there.
Nothing major there for Menedigraf.
Richard Williams just jumped to the pits with a meatball. He must have tore it up so good somewhere.
We'll come to it in a moment. Paul Crubb is attacking Mike Buson towards Ferradura, Jim. We need to go to that battle, as there they are. He was on the gearbox of Buson, but now you can just see the lines, or the different lines that the pair of them are taking. Is seeing Crubb, Veazey and Bird all loom in. I would say we're going to be within range of a 4-way battle for the win here, Jim, because this is unbelievable stuff. Buson hasn't taken a win yet this season. Crubb hasn't taken a win yet this season. Veazey has won 1 race, and Bird hasn't taken a victory yet.
No, that's good. That's a good point. And I tell you what, we all of this is going to start, I think, bringing Maxwell back into the picture. If I'm being honest, I think if these 4 guys start fighting like that, how many laps we got left? We got plenty of time. Sorry, it's almost 10 minutes left.
Yeah. Heading over the line, it'll be a 14-lap race, I think. Over the line come the leaders. Is Crubb attempting to go for it on Buson into turn 1. He thought about it to begin with, but he's going for it now on the inside. Is Paul Crubb, the Irishman, through on Mike Buson for the lead of the last race of tonight here in the Radical SR8 Championship. Buson feels he can fight back around the outside. These two needs to keep it clean compared to what happened in race number 1. But Buson is coming back through in the Retro Aposta, and Crubb is on the inside into Interlagos. Is Crubb going back ahead? He is, so pushes Buson offline slightly, and VC feels he's got a chance of going through into second place. But Buson's got the advantage of the draft from Crab's car to fend off VC on that occasion. But he runs into the TWR Jaguar livery machine, and Buson's lost the position to VC and another one to Jamie Bird. That attempt of going for the lead for Mike Buson has seen him drop down to 4th position.
Wow. Yeah, that was, it's almost like he kind of surged in there, and then he had to hit the brakes really hard. They just bumped.
Yep. Yep, he attempts to go back through on Jamie Bird. He's still there. He's Buson. Bird had the inside line. There was no way that Buson was good. Yeah, no, I think he'll be all right. I think he did back off that time, did Buson, so he should be okay from here. There's no yellow flag to his name on the timing tower, so he's all well and good. He's Buson. Paul Crab in the lead then, and fairly so.
Oh, Crab's in trouble. He just dropped.
Is that a connection issue for
Paul
Crab?
It's gotta be.
I think it is. He's tumbling down the order. He's raced over the Paul
No,
Crab.
he's back.
Is it? No,
he's back.
he's back.
Up. Ooh.
Got to be careful.
He almost looks like he's out of rhythm. Like it must have flashed on his end too, you know? All right. Wow. Okay. That was crazy.
Yeah. Lucky to survive that. You won't want to get that too many times, otherwise the session will kick you out. Or iRacing will kick you out of the session. But VC now is, well, that was a poor error from Polko to see the Largo, and VC's the latest to go for the leads. But Crab will have the inside into Ferragiro. There's no way, surely, that VC's going to pull this one off. It's Crab who will remain in front. But Bird feels that he can do it as well.
Oh, he's going to get
Crab
it.
got a really poor drive out of turn 8. Boots on the inside of Bird this time. This is thrilling racing. We are seeing here in Sao Paulo. And Crab somehow is able to hold on to the lead. But all of this is surely going to allow Lee Maxwell to close in. It will soon be a 5-way battle for the win.
But not as much as you'd think. I mean, he has made up almost a full second. But, I mean, these guys are going tooth and nail up here. This is incredible. God, I love this track,
photo finish is on the cards here in Brazil. Jack VC, well, he's within range to keep himself in the draft of Paul Crab. Won't go for it into turn 1, I don't think. He's way too far back to even think about that. But now, as we see, the field heading through into turn 1 now. And it's still as you were before, well, I say before, what it was on the previous lap, but I think the field may have changed a little bit slightly compared to last time. VC still in second place, ahead of Bird and Buson. Maxwell is running about 1.6. You could just see the field. That's Tunison, Harmon, Colleen, and Vosberg in the background. Unbelievable scenes.
They're all closing up. Look at this. Yeah, this is going to be, and we got 6 minutes. It's going to get good. Wow, that was crazy there for that. That was some good stuff.
There's Colleen and Vosberg for position. A solid drive from Colleen so far, but that mistake at turn 8 has allowed Vosberg to get alongside here. And I think Vosberg is just going to hold it round the outside, but it's giving the inside line for Pico de Pato, and very well done there to Taras Vosberg for making it stick. Yeah. Colleen still on course to take another AM victory at the end of tonight. And is Vosberg going to hold on here? Well, he wanted to close in on Maxwell and Tunison because they're also. Oh, that's contact. That's Colleen running into Vosberg.
Did they hit?
I thought that was contact from Colleen on Vosberg, in my opinion. Let's have a look.
No,
no,
it's not. I think he lost it.
Yeah,
I think he
Vosberg
lost it.
Yeah,
and Colleen did a sweet job of avoiding that. Look at this, man. I got to go on board. Oh, he hit him a little bit. He did have a little touch, though.
There was a little touch, but Vosberg was already spinning before Colleen got placed.
Yeah. I'm just saying a little touch. But I thought he was going to avoid him completely. But man, oh my gosh, that was crazy. That happened right in front of him.
That's Tunison and Harmon fighting over 6th place. Harmon around the outside of Tunison. Now these two have left Vosberg and Colleen for dead, to be honest with you. But it's Tunison who remains in front of Harmon that time. But they want to stay in touch with Maxwell, and they're losing time doing their own battle, these two. Just over 4 minutes remaining in Interlagos.
Luke is still not really closing. Busan is kind of falling off the
Oh, that's Bird. I thought Bird was sliding around through Biga de Pato. Sorry to interrupt you, Jim. I thought Bird was absolutely out of shape at Biga de Pato. He survived that. We won't want to do that too many times. Most certainly not at this corner at Yunsao, because this is where the circuit inclines all the way up to the pit straight. I think V's is within range to attack now, Jim. You can see how close he's getting. And surely he's got to think about going for an overtake here.
Yeah, he's probably going to make a little launch here going into the center S. It's going to be very important for Paul to pick a line here on him. He's probably going to try to get him coming out. But he's got Jamie all over him too, and Busan back there.
Yep. You can see the top four with here. Maxwell.
It's not very often you
Incredible
get four guys battling within a second for the lead lap after lap like this.
Top four nose to tail. Maxwell isn't too far off these now. He's just got himself within a second of Mike Buson. I think this will be Buson's best result of the season, despite the fact that it is a fourth place finish he's on course to get. But at the end of the day, points are points. And with Mahatcha not around, this was an opportunity for Buson to take advantage. He is going to get points, but in terms of other drivers of which he would be battling with, he has still got a mountain to climb. Maybe spend less time playing Le Mans Ultimate and playing iRacing. That would be maybe my tip for Mike Buson. Yes, I have said that on
Well, was Buson? Buson wasn't playing Ultimate, was he? That was McCutcheon.
Well, yeah, maybe. It could have been both of them, but I'll let Mike Buson tell me exactly what's going on. But either way, he probably needs a little bit more practice. That's all I would say.
You're tough, man.
I can be, but in a banter sort of tight fashion.
Hey, I mean, nothing wrong with telling it like it is. I'm a tell it like it is kind of guy, so I can appreciate that.
Here they are. Oh, you can see the top four so close. This is the closest they have been all race.
Oh, he's going to get it.
That is VZ to the outside of Crab. He can't make it there. Bird is a little too close. Buson and Maxwell are all nose to tail. 2 laps to go here at Interlagos. Is Paul Crab going to hold on for his first win of the season?
I thought VZ had him there. I really did. I was 100% convinced he was going to make that pass right there.
And Harmon is in front of Tunison now for 6th place. Whilst we were discussing this, he's gone through, no problem there.
Good.
There is Harmon leaving Tunison for dead. He won't be able to do anything about the top 5. They're too far in front of him, and there's not enough time for him to make up the gap. But here they are, the top 5. This is probably the closest we've seen all season of the top 5 drivers being line astir in the longest race of the night, bearing in mind. And we've seen an absolutely fantastic race so far involving these. And the good thing about it is they've kept it clean so far. Buson on the inside. Buson catching Bird by surprise. Maxwell spins. And that's a dreadful error by Maxwell. That loses him crucial ground in the battle for the win. Buson, meanwhile, has got through into the final podium position.
Oh, my gosh. What happened with Maxwell? Did he... I don't want to cut away from this right here because I've got a feeling that
VZ is attacking Crab this time. He's going to go to the outside. Final lap of the race for the leaders. VZ on the outside of Crab. Will he make the corner? He won't. He allows Crab to get back onto the apex, and that was all he needed. And that was a solid exit out of the center S for Paul Crab. And it looks like we've had changes around. Mike Buson said an error, Jim. Buson has spun in the background. That allows Bird and Maxwell through into 3rd and 4th places. Buson's season goes from bad to worse. He cannot catch a break.
Let's see what happened real quick.
I'm sure that Bird didn't run into him, or did he?
Nah, he just lost it.
Buson's. Yeah, that's Buson's error.
Actually, Bird did a great job of not tearing up both cars.
Yeah.
All right, well. That all kind of came to a head, didn't it?
Yeah, Buson down to P7.
Crazy battling back here. Look at this.
Yeah, Tunison's got in front of Maxwell. Maxwell has lost the position to Luke Tunison on this final lap. We're looking at Vosberg and Pullman for position. That's contact made between Pullman and Vosberg. But we'll go to the leader of Paul Crab, who's got Yunsao to go through now. He's coming out of there now. He's got Jack VC close for comfort. But Paul Crab is going to do enough to take his first win of the campaign. He'll become the 8th different driver to take a victory this season, adding to the long list. Paul Crab takes the final race win here at Interlagos, ahead of Jack VZ, who bags more crucial points in second place, and it's Jamie Bird who completes the podium. Eric Harmon holds off Luke Tunison to the line for fourth position. Luke Maxwell in a disappointing sixth place, and a Mike Bousson who should have had more. Now it's Eric Colleen who wins out in the AMS over Menno de Graaf and Taras Vosberg, who is the latest pro driver to finish. Steve Webb bagging another AM podium to his credit this season.
He's coming along. Oh, man, poor Matthew Richardson. That did not go well.
No, but at least he's finished in front of Michael Cho and Darren Nunn, which is little consolation for Matthew there. We're just waiting for Darren Nunn to head over the line. Has he run out of fuel, or is he just tiptoeing his way over the line?
Hard to say. I would think out of fuel, but maybe.
Let's go over the line anyway.
Yeah, either way. So apparently Maxwell had another incident. Real quick, let's just see.
Yeah. But this is going to be the reason why Tunison got in front.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh, he's lost it again. He's had a number of those this evening as Luke Maxwell.
Well, I tell you what, once you have one, man, and you heat these rear tires up like that, it takes a lap or two to cool them down. And when you don't have a lap or two, you know what I mean? It's just bad news. All right, let's get a look at these results here real quick.
At the end of another thrilling round, the final race result is this. Paul Crubb taking his first win of the campaign at Jack Vesey. Jamie Bird in third place, bagging a well-deserved podium. Eric Harmon fourth, and Luke Tunison fifth, had Luke Maxwell and Mike Bousson. Eric Colleen, the winner again in the AMS over Menno de Graaf. For Taras Vosberg running out the top 10, with Steve Webb in 11th place and completing the AM podium. Gert-Jan Polman, Stefan Millis, Matthew Richardson, Michael Cho and Darren Nunn made it to the end. Richard Williams was the only driver to not do so. What a race again, Jim.
Wow.
The top four, or top five, if you want to call it that, nose to tail, photo finish.
So good. Let's see. Who we got? We got Paul Crabb in there right now. Let's go ahead and pull him in and have some fun with him since we hadn't talked to him much this year.
Yeah, well, may as well get a word with him and talk about his evening. Paul Crabb, well done on taking your first win of the season. A great showing in that final race, fending off the likes of Jack Vesey, Jamie Bird, Mike Bousson and Luke Maxwell. But just from your perspective, was it as intense as what maybe we saw?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing was given. I was defending for my life in the last 5 or 6 laps. But I'd got it. I think I'd got my defensive line well sorted. So I managed to keep Jack behind.
Yeah,
that was.
Turns 1 and 2 were an example of it. Sorry, Jim.
No, I was just saying that was a great battle right there, man. Oh man, there was 4 of you battling hard for, gosh, I don't even know, 6, 7 laps. It seems like at least.
Yeah, I kept not quite getting on the back of Mike Bousson, and then I managed to get him on 1 lap, and then he got swamped by the other 2.
Yeah, so, and then he ended up spinning and costing himself some places. He ended up finishing 7th.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, race 2 was a bit of a dumb one for me. I was busy taking my fleece off and getting sorted out, and put my headset back on and realized the race has started.
Yeah, we saw you come out of the pits. I was curious as to why you decided to do that, but
just complete brain fade on my part.
Well, that happens sometimes, you know. It seems to happen more and more to me every day.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's a feature of my life.
Even though you started from the pit lane and came through to finish in 8th place, so that was still a great effort considering it was only a 15-minute event.
Yeah, I was happy. I managed to get through reasonably cleanly. I think I dive bombed Gert once, which I wasn't. I shouldn't really have done, but he managed to avoid me, so that was okay. Yeah, there was a strange one in lap 1 where we were 3 wide and the 2 of them crossed in front of me.
But yes, in race 1, what was that, huh? I mean,
I don't know.
It was like they split you, and then they decided they were going to do a crisscross right across your nose.
Yeah, I came out unscathed. I thought, I bargain.
Yeah, that was. We went on and on about that when you watched the broadcast back. We talked about that for about the rest of the whole race. That was. I just didn't understand.
I'm not sure I did anything wrong, but I'll have to have a look back at it.
No, I don't think you did. I mean, you were sandwiched there, and there wasn't a whole lot you could do. That
Yeah.
was just kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I like this track. It's really fun.
Everybody likes
It's-
this track.
it's-
It's great.
John McHutchinson doesn't like it.
Well, he didn't show up either. That's funny.
I know, but I don't think that's the reason why he didn't show up. That wouldn't be he wouldn't be a
No,
no-show for that, would
no.
he?
But yeah, he that's crazy. He doesn't like this track. You would think, as good a driver as he is, he would love this place.
Oh yeah, I mean he'd probably win it, but it's not his favorite. So yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
can't all have good taste, you know. No, go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he's probably wishing the fact that Knock Hill was on the calendar for obvious reasons.
Probably.
Yeah, well, he
yes.
makes the calendar. I mean, he's got no. He's got no
That's
excuses.
true. He does. Oh, all right, Paul. Well, congratulations, man. It's good to see you in Victory Circle, and good race. You had a good night, though. I mean, all things considered, you know, you had a good night.
Yeah, very pleased with it. Very pleased with it. Yeah.
Yeah. First half of the season's over, Paul. How do you sum it up so far?
Ooh, patchy.
Patchy.
I've had some good races and I've had some shockers. So I've had no complaints. I had a lot of fun every evening. So no problems there. Yeah, the race has been good. I mean, I've had no problems with anyone. It's been I've mainly tripped myself up mostly. Yeah.
Anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Max Verstappen for actually doing a really clean race on over the weekend, because I thought he might try some shenanigans, but he didn't. He was absolutely straight up. And I've never been a huge fan, but I thought, yeah, fair dues to him. He didn't do anything stupid.
No, he didn't, except for that.
No.
Well, no, I mean, you know, he did kind of. He did cross over pretty hard on the first lap there, you know, to make sure he cut him off. But other than that, I mean, no, it was good. He certainly could have backed him up into the field, you know, but he didn't do that.
That's what I thought he might try and do, but he didn't. He didn't play any silly games like that.
And more power to the whole Red Bull team, really, because they could have, you know, they could have brought him in for tires and then run that strategy, you know, and they didn't do it. So. You know, they wanted to win it the right way, I guess. So yeah, I agree. Shout out to them for a good clean race.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Congratulations again. We'll I'm sure we're going to be talking to you soon.
Yep. Thanks, gents. See you next week, hopefully.
See you soon, Paul. And that was Paul Crabb winning out in the final race and taking his first win of the campaign. Well, we'll see more of it in Mount Panorama in a week's time from him. We shall see. Let's bring our next interviewee into the booth. That is the Orange Army Racing man himself, Steve Webb, who grabs another couple of AM podiums tonight. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Tom?
I'm not too bad, thank you, Steve. Obviously, it's been a busy week. I turned 30 last week.
My goodness. Well, don't worry, you've still got another 36 years to get to me yet, so you'll be all right.
I hope so, anyway.
We were talking during the race, Steve, and he says, he goes, "Did you ever listen to Kiss?" I said, "Are you kidding me? I grew up on Kiss. That was my first concert."
Now, with me and music, I'm stuck in the 40s era, big bands, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all the wartime stuff. I don't like all this modern stuff. It's got to be, you know, all the big band era. It's absolutely superb.
That's awesome.
You know, go to a few 1940s concerts every now and again, and they're brilliant. Oh, tonight was damned hard work.
That's fun though. It's good stuff.
The first one, I was running really well, and then I forget who it is now. He drives a Tic Tac car.
Oh, yeah, Colleen.
Yeah, in first corner, I was so close to him, and he went sideways, and I could not avoid him. And then I think I got hit by Mike Bousson as well. That put me down to 14th. And then managed to do an escape act in the last two. So I was really happy with it, to be truthful, really happy. And that comes off the back of an 11th place finish for the Orange Army in the 24 hours of Spa yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So
how was that?
Been a bad week. Oh, I did say the first one that we ever did with the new teammates, I stayed up for the full 24 hours. and myself and Darren said we're never going to do it again. And what happened? I got 1.5 hours rest during the 24.
Oh my goodness.
But no, it's absolutely good fun. It really is. And the racing tonight, I thought was absolutely excellent.
Oh, yeah.
I really did.
That was good stuff. Tell you
but
what, we
just
enjoyed
wanna-
it. Man,
Just
I
want
tell
to say something
Oh,
to
yeah, go ahead.
Paul. I wasn't quite sure if me and Paul had a touch. But it was, if we did, it was probably me. Didn't send him off or nothing, but I'd just like to apologise to Paul because it probably slowed him up. So my apologies to Paul for that one.
Well, he didn't call you out for it, so there's that.
Oh, well, I've sent him a bag of fizzy sweets as compensation.
It's probably the kind of energy he needs for next week because it's going to be an absolute.
Oh,
I don't know what you call it.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Probably going to be a little chaos.
Yeah, I did some practice around there tonight, and just to get a flow with the car, I'm finding very, very difficult around there.
Do you fancy that circuit? You like it there? You like?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I do like the circuit, but I haven't driven it much in the radicals, so it's going to be a whole new experience.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll be just doing what we can, hopefully scoring more points, which is always good, and it just keeps me in the. I wouldn't say a chance of the outright win, but it sort of keeps me there or thereabouts. So I'm more than happy with tonight's work.
Well, I just happened to notice as your car went by there on the screen that you have a purple uniform in your car instead of you need to have an Orange Army suit on.
Yes, we've me and my partner have just been discussing that over the weekend, and yeah, we're going to do an Orange Army race.
One or the other.
And then I think we're going to.
You can do the chicken suit. That'd be all right.
I'll tell you what. Oh, now you've said it, ain't you?
Well, it's out there. It's available because of that old NASCAR movie from way back in the 70s. There was a movie called Stroker Ace, and it starred Burt Reynolds. No, it's bad. But it had all the old NASCAR guys in it, though, like Dale Earnhardt and Petty. And,
okay.
But Burt Reynolds plays a guy who's ends up getting a sponsorship from this chicken place, and they make him drive a race in a chicken suit. And people have duplicated that costume on iRacing, so it's out there.
I'm going to use it.
It's out there.
Use it.
Yeah, it's got.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, the helmet and everything. The whole thing is out
brilliant.
there. Yeah,
I'll be using it. I've got a question for you both. Might be a little bit controversial, but going back to what was going back to what was said, not the last Grand Prix, but one previous when oh God, I can't remember his name. British Mercedes driver. Come on, what's his name?
George Russell.
Thank you. Yeah, I just couldn't think then. He made a statement that he thinks that all the stewards should now be fully paid by the FIA. Bearing in mind that the stewards are race drivers in real life, or have been, they get all their expenses paid, i.e. flights, very nice hotels and very nice food. I completely disagree with that. I don't think it should be a paid role, because then I think you're just getting people coming in for the money. And it's the same with the marshals. If they're going to pay the stewards, should they not pay the marshals then?
Well, in my opinion, I agree that marshals should be paid as well if you're going to pay stewards. I guess I liken it to, and I haven't thought about this, and once I put some more thought into it, I may change my opinion. But my initial reaction is stewards make decisions that can absolutely affect hundreds of millions of dollars in businesses, billion-dollar businesses. Mm-hmm. It's not a whole lot different than officials in soccer games, in big soccer matches or in American football, where you've got these billion-dollar franchises that are teetering on a referee's decision, or soccer matches where certain calls happen or don't happen or whatever. So my initial gut reaction is they probably should be paid, and they should be held to an extremely high standard, and their decisions should be scrutinized by a board above them.
Yes, agreed completely on that one. But the marshals make decisions that can cost millions.
Oh, absolutely.
If we throw a flag out, the wrong flag out, which has happened.
Oh yeah, sure. Especially in qualifying.
Yep. And then when I'm in the pit lane for the British Grand Prix, we have a team of people that are constantly watching what is happening. So therefore, if a mechanic drops a wheel and it goes into the fast lane, it's reported. So we're making decisions that can cost absolute millions. So there's not a lot of difference between the two roles in my eyes.
No, I agree. I think absolutely. I think that marshals should be paid as well. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in Formula One. I mean, it is massively big business. There's plenty of money around to pay marshals and stewards, and they should be paid. And the fact that they're not paid, just think about this. If you were to go to a professional soccer match, or, let's say, I don't know, I'm assuming World Cup officials, I'm sure, are paid too. But, but let's just say you go to a championship type soccer match, one of these, one of the biggest sports in the world. And a controversial call is made that costs the team a championship, and it's made by a volunteer. Think about how people would react to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But nobody questions it in racing, or not anyway, not near to the level that it should be. I think all of you should be paid. I think the whole lot should be paid. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's never going to happen. So we'll just continue with what we're doing for the love of the sport. But I just wanted to get people's take on it, because I've been asking quite a few people, and there's a lot of pros for and a lot of pros against. So it's anyway, never mind. I'm taking up.
Jack said Jack's still waiting in the broadcast room.
Oh, sorry. Right. Sorry, Jack.
He typed
I'm taking up too much of your time. I really do apologise. I'm very sorry. But guys, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Really
Steve.
enjoy it. And I love talking to you guys. So thank you very, very much. And to the rest of the guys for the good racing tonight. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Sorry.
Thank you very much to Steve Webb for taking the time to speak to us. A good conversation, but unfortunately we had to cut it short. We are tight on time. Let's get a word with the man that finished in second place in the final race of tonight. Jack Veazey, good evening.
Good evening. How are we?
Oh my goodness.
Not too bad, thank you. Slowly heading towards the Christmas period.
It was lonely in the waiting room. Just me.
Well, we should have brought you up in here so you could have given your opinion on this whole
that would have been a good shout, to be
marshals and stewards thing.
2 at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you could do
anyway, how was the racing for you tonight? Because there was one incident you were involved in race one with Mike Bousson and Paul Crubb. Just maybe beginning with your perspective of that, because you were on the outside, weren't you? And from where we saw it, we felt that Mike Bousson was the one that precipitated it.
Yeah, all I can do, there's two options. There's pull out or just stay as far to the right as possible and try and stick it, which is what I chose. But before you know it, I was sideways looking at the wall. So I looked at it back already on the replay, and I like you say, I don't know if Mike knew I was there on the outside or not, but once he started to move over, it got to a point where he moved over enough where Paul's got nowhere to go because I'm on his right. And then he got lucky in a way because it was me and Mike that crashed. And
Yeah,
Paul got free. So
he did get off scot
that was
free.
a result for Paul. Yeah, it's one of those things.
You know, I question. I don't know that he saw you, because if you did watch the replay back, you came up. He was a little ahead of you, so as he was getting on the left side of Crab, you were coming up on the right side, but you were still a little bit behind him. So you
But-
know, if he looked
Yeah.
off to that side, I don't know that he saw you. You know what I mean? Plus, he was so close to Paul that he was probably filled up with Paul's car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he knew I was there, but maybe he just misjudged the space between me and Paul. Or something
I
like
found
that,
the whole
because-
thing shocking, though. I was like, because that's one of the widest parts of the track, and y'all managed to crash on and taking up less than half of it. Y'all were just over there, all tight to the side.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably go 6 wide into that corner if you calculate
exactly.
it correctly. So,
But not 3,
it's-
apparently.
yeah, not 3. That's too many. So that race was a write-off because I had damage after that point. I lost a few other positions because my nose fell off, so I had no straight line speed or cornering. And then the second race was not. It wasn't bad. It was non-eventful. I think I finished 6th. But the final race was so much fun.
Oh, that was good stuff.
It's hard to overtake.
The battle
around here.
between you and Paul was sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's he was covering the inside line every time into T1, and a few other corners. He was sort of closing the door within reason.
I mean, he did have his defensive line sorted out really nice. I mean, he did not leave you a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, it's every door was shut. It's not like he, was giving me any hints to go through. He was driving defensively, and that really backed up the pack because Luke caught up. And he was like 5 seconds behind.
Yes.
Until the crash at the end.
Yeah. Well, he was actually. I think he was only like 3, but still, yeah, he still did catch up. And
yeah. Well, my delta, he was 5 at one point.
Really? Well, I didn't catch. I didn't notice that. But when I first noticed that he was coming, it was about 3. But either way, he did.
Once you start battling, it doesn't take long for people to start catching up. So the third and final race was really, it was fun. And
it's Interlagos, man. This is a great, this place produces great racing. It really, truly does not matter what car you throw in here. It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be open wheel. It could be sports cars, radicals, Formula Vs. It doesn't matter. It's always good.
It's a really fun track.
First half of the season's over, Jack. How do you assess your campaign so far?
I think I was 3rd going into this one, with Matthew just ahead, but I don't know where Matthew finished in that final race.
Not good.
Even a long way down. Yeah, he finished a long way down. I think it was 14th. Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends how it stacks up, but with a grid of 25, if everyone turned up, 3rd is pretty good. John is a long way ahead though, so it's going to be hard to close down that gap unless he starts making mistakes.
Somebody's going to have to go over there and trip his circuit breaker.
Yeah, something like that. Throw a brick through his window when he's racing.
That's right, something. Just cut the power off or something.
Someone.
Yeah. Or just do a Top Gear like sabotage.
Snip his internet line or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it takes at this point. We'll have to see. It's Bathurst next week. That could.
Oh man,
that could go anyway.
That's a curveball.
Yeah,
it's going to be a curveball an event. Anyone you want to shout out to, Jack, before we let you go?
Just a shout out to you guys as always, and
all right. Well, so
family watching, shout out to them.
In honor of Steve's question that you were waiting to get through in chat, what's your opinion on that? Formula One, stewards, and marshals. Well, stewards and marshals across all the big major motorsports, even not just Formula One, but especially Formula One. Should there remain volunteers, or should they all be paid?
I think with the amount of money in Formula One, they should be paid something rather than it being voluntary. I know one of the perks is you get one of the best views of the track. But But yeah, there's a lot of money in F1, and I'm sure they could spare some for the marshals.
Right. I agree. And I just think that, especially the stewards, they make decisions that, I mean, you're affecting billion-dollar companies with these decisions, and
And
to be volunteers and not paid. Just imagine, like I said, a referee at a soccer match, a major soccer match, and the referees being volunteers and making bad calls. Can you imagine the reaction to that? They'd be storming the field.
Yeah, and there's a danger aspect as well with being a marshal. So that's
true
also,
too. Yeah.
You could be paid for. It can be dangerous at times. So yeah, I think they should be paid.
I mean, especially we've seen here in this year and like last year was some of them running out across the track and stuff, and cars weren't slowed up at the right time or something, Yeah, I mean, and certainly you've had marshals hurt and killed before, going back through the years, So yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I just figured we'd ask since Steve's gathering opinions on that, and it is an interesting.
I think for F1 it's a no-brainer, and then maybe like touring cars and stuff. Anything that brings in a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I think WEC, things like that, World Endurance Challenge, stuff like that, they should be paid.
Yeah,
it's just too big a business to have.
I didn't even know it was completely voluntary.
To be honest, I didn't know stewards were. I knew marshals were volunteers, but I did not know that stewards were. I mean, you think about the decisions that stewards make every time you watch a Formula One race. It's pretty crazy, really, that's a volunteer job.
Yeah.
So
it is indeed.
All right, buddy. Good to talk to you again, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week at Bathurst. We'll have to see. That's going to be
see how we do. Yeah.
That's going to be a wild card. You might as well. We could just roll the dice at the beginning and probably just.
I was saying to Paul, on the reverse grid race at the end where it switches to 10, if there's someone who's not that confident going around Bathurst, heading up that hill, one mistake and 3/4 of the field get taken out. So it'll be interesting.
I tell you, and somebody panicking that spins on the mountain and tries to turn it around instead of just towing, because you try to whatever you call it, 9-point turn or whatever on the mountain, you'll take out half the field.
It's easy to get stuck.
If you spin there, you really almost have to tow just to prevent a major situation. Luckily, we're only going to have, maybe 20, or so cars there. So it's not like, it's not like we got a 35 or 40 car field, and that'd be different for sure. So, all right, buddy. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you next week. We'll certainly see you next week.
Okay. Yep. I'll see you then.
All right, buddy.
All right.
All right.
That was Jack Veazey at the end of a brilliant evening for himself, finishing second place in that final race. Jim, we've been treated to a lot of action tonight and a whole lot more to come in the second half of the season with Mount Panorama, the next stop.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Historic Monza coming up. We got some good ones. So, this was everything I hoped it was going to be. And that, sometimes they don't always live up to the expectation you have, but this one certainly did.
It's been a fun night of action here at Interlagos and a super one of that. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel in case you haven't already done so, and you can keep right up to date with all the action that's been shown here. Jim, thank you very much as always for your company, and we'll see a whole lot more from you in the rounds to come, as well as Route Panorama next week. Well, tonight, with John Hutchinson's absence, it was an opportunity for the drivers to make amends in the race for the championship. Luke Maxwell got off the mark with race victory in the first one. In race 2, it was Eric Harmon who came out on top. And by the end of race 3, it was Paul Crabb who ended his winning drought and picked up his first win of the campaign. Will he carry that through to Mount Panorama in Bathurst, Australia? Well, you know where to find us. It's the end of the evening's action. The first half of the season is done. The second half begins in 7 days' time. I am Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham. and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns.